I'd like to take this time to thank our sponsor, RX Smart Gear. Dave and his team have developed the perfect jump rope to counter common performance miscues, which in turn enhance the learning experience. They have an ergonomic grip and a swivel connection for better accuracy, and the resistance levels have helped with better timing. And the custom sizes promote proper form and technique. It's built durable to stand up to the rigors of intense workouts, and it was in fact prescribed to help you get better. That's how the RX Smart Gear jump rope was born. Dave Newman and his team have been a great partner for us in the podcast, and we appreciate him so much for all of his support. So don't forget to use the Clydesdale 15 discount code at checkout and get 15% off your order at rxsmartgear.com. And don't forget that that excludes new releases and special editions.
We are so excited to now have Mobility Movement as a partner. Their holistic approach to recovery is second to none. This is not just a program that helps with your flexibility and mobility. It also assists with stress release and sleep, two key factors in overall recovery. The website gives you a plan for each week, saves your favorites, gives you sleep protocols, has a specific protocol for your first week joining, and then there are these new things called open snacks, which are super cool. Here you are given quick warm-ups and cool-down protocols for the open WODs, featuring elite athletes Allison Scudds and Saxon Panchik. And who doesn't need recovery after those open workouts? The extensive library available to you is both vast and diverse. If you want to try Mobility Movement, go to mobilitymovement.com. That is mobilitymvmnt.com. And make sure you use our code Clydesdale20, all caps, to get 20% off your first 6 months. That's mobilitymovement.com, mobilitymvmnt.com. Use code Clydesdale20 to get 20% off your first 6 months. I've been using this since the first of the year, and I am sleeping better than I have in so many years. And with all the back issues I've had over the last 5 years, this has given me so much relief, and I'm able to work out 4 to 5 times a week without any pain at all. So go to mobilitymovement.com. That's mobilitymvmnt.com and use Clydesdale20 to get 20% off your first 6-month subscription. Hey everyone, welcome to the Clydesdale Fitness and Friends. My name is Scott Schweitzer. I'm your host. I'm the Clydesdale. We love to do fitness, and these are my friends. I've got Justin Cotler with Underdog Athletics and Ricky Garard, live from Australia.
How you doing, Scott? Well, long time no see. It's been, what, 10 minutes?
10 minutes, yeah. Ricky, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, Scott. Good to meet you.
Well, I want to let everybody know if you're here. Today. I'm sorry, what's that, Ricky?
I said I'm looking forward to today.
Yeah. Well, I want to let everybody know if you came here to hear about 2017, you might as well just turn off your YouTube now or your podcast and go somewhere else. I suggest the Chase Ingram interview on the Games podcast. It's already been done. We're here to focus on Ricky, the athlete today, and where he is and where he's going to go in the future. So what I want to start with, Ricky and Justin both, is the story's been famously told that, Ricky, you were listening to a podcast and Justin made a comment that if he could pick any athlete to coach, it would be you. And that kind of started the ball spinning into you picking Justin as your coach. How much research did you do after you heard that on the podcast?
Yeah, well, I'd been doing a lot of research beforehand, before reaching out to Justin. Asked if he'd be interested in coaching me, and also just trying to do myself up to commit to the question and send him a message. And I'd research him before that. Just some podcasts that you guys have been doing and other podcasts that he'd done, and back like the grid days and stuff like that. And then when he announced that that was my name, that he had one person to coach, I was like, yeah, meant to be. I literally reached out like 2 minutes after I heard it.
Yeah, it was cool because it was with Peter, right, on Coffee Pods and Wads, and yeah, it was I hadn't really kind of thought about it that much prior to, in the sense of like, but he asked the question and it kind of popped into my head. And, I thought, at this point in my career, right, it was kind of like this, it would be a great story. It'd be a great challenge, and feel like we would work well together. And I knew a little bit about Ricky, because I knew Benny pretty well from when Benny had competed in grid, and also when Benny, made the games. And the year Benny made the games, I was coaching Con. And so the two of them spent some time together, and, so I got to know Benny pretty well. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of cool. It's kismet almost, It just kind of happened, and Ricky reached out, and we started talking, for a little while on the phone, and got to know each other pretty well. And I don't know. I feel like it's been a good, it's been a good marriage in a sense so far. Yeah.
Meant to be, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been good.
So I wanted to ask you, Justin, like how many steps did it take for you to go through before you were comfortable signing Ricky?
It was pretty, honestly, like when we first started talking, it was really more about just getting to know each other, and we talked a little bit, about the process, but really it was after, it was kind of several conversations. I spoke to him and his brother a couple times together. And we just got to know each other, and it was very, I'll be honest with you, like very quickly, I felt like we had a very good rapport. And I also felt like, kind of what you see is what you get with Ricky, like a lot of people don't really know him, and he's a little bit more introverted, honestly. And you don't see a ton of him on social media, and he doesn't, a lot of athletes that are constantly plugging themselves. And he doesn't really do that. And
I don't
so
talk to the camera much.
Yeah. But what's funny is that nobody knows. I mean, he's really funny, and like, he's got a great personality. He's just, he's kind of shy on camera, but it was pretty quick. And then honestly, like, I don't know whether he meant to do it or not, but he did a really good job of like ingratiating himself with like my wife, Ashley. They were talking a little bit on social media, and, he was really interested in how the other underdogs were doing last season. And yeah, I could just tell, that it would be a good fit for the two of us. And, we met for the first time in Dubai. We had never really met before. And it was like we had known each other for forever. We just vibed. We just got along incredibly well. And obviously he had a very good week there. And, I met his better half, she's pretty cool. So it was a fun time. And I think we've had a very good, a good beginning. And I think we both have big goals for him, which I think are attainable. And so I'm excited, I'm excited for the journey, because I think there's a lot of really good days ahead.
So the consensus I get from everybody, Ricky, is that you're just one hell of a guy, right? You're super awesome to be around. You're a fun guy to be around. What made you reach out to Ashley? Because I was having dinner with Justin and Ashley, and she told me that meant the world to her when you reached out to her.
I'm not sure. I just reached out and asked how's it going, and had a general chat and general conversation. And I knew I was going to be essentially a part of underdogs, and she's Cotler's wife, and had to get in the good books early. So
I think he just had the intuition that she was really the one who runs the show. So he knew he had to get in good with her. Yeah.
So my next question for you, Ricky, is you had to spend 4 years away from a sport that you had grown to love, and you're getting your second chance, and you don't want to waste that in any way possible. So that made this decision to go with underdogs super, super important, because you didn't want to waste a second. Is that true?
Yeah, for sure. It was just the way I wanted to come back this time was just a bit more of a professional approach and try and have a bit more of a team around me instead of trying to do it all on my own. So that was the approach I wanted to take, and Underdogs was the right fit for me, and just everything about it, everything Cotler and the team around it, and just stood out to me. So that's why it worked out in the end. So yeah, it was.
I think he just liked the name. I think, I think he just was like, yeah, Underdogs. It fits.
Yeah,
right? Yeah, it's cool.
Pretty much.
So
I like dogs as well.
What are the big differences in training today than what you were doing prior?
Yeah, so pretty much for the 4 years prior, I didn't really follow a program at all. I was just kind of freestyling, pulling workouts off Instagram and making workouts up myself. And a lot of the time I was just joining in on classes and just doing literally just 1 hour a day of a class, and then I'd go home. And that was just my way of just enjoying what I was doing. I didn't take it too serious because it's pretty hard what I had to go through. And I did try a couple of times to follow a program like seriously and do like what's required to be at the top of the sport, but it was just burning me out, and I was just mentally, it was just breaking me. So I just had to focus on enjoying the training and getting people around me and enjoying the environment, and just, enjoying CrossFit for what it is and getting those endorphins, and just having fun with it.
So when you were doing the class workouts, how did the community accept you back in? Was it pretty immediate?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, no, like my gym at home, Benton, no one ever dropped the hat. They always had my back, and they know who I am deep down. And no one had any issues with it. They all be super supportive from the start, and it's never changed. It's still the same now.
How important was it to have them in your corner for those 4 years?
Oh, yeah, it's huge. Like, obviously I had to deal with it personally. Like, you do spend a lot of time on your own, but just having those group of people there that I knew I could go to in the afternoon and just get around and just have a good time and talk a bit of shit and play music and do the class, and it's just like super supportive. Just took out a bit of the stress and the seriousness of everything, and I was just able to have fun and relax and do what I do and have fun with training.
I think that's what sucks us all into the CrossFit world, is that community that you get to hang out with every day.
Yeah.
So you kind of got to go back to the grassroots of it all.
Yeah, it was awesome. It kind of, and I was still hitting big numbers. I was smashing workouts, and I was like, I'm only training an hour a day. Like, am I still improving? I think it was just like the fact that I was just enjoying myself and having fun.
I think it's cool because if you see, you can see it on Instagram, and you can see like how supportive that community is, and it's it's a family's gym, and it's Benny's gym, and it's really it's such a supportive group, and I love seeing it from a distance, and I hope to get there someday. But it's just really fun to watch how supportive they've been of him, during that time. But then now, obviously, since he's been back, I mean, it hypes me up to watch a lot of those videos because the whole community is so involved with his success and with his journey. It really is like the definition of community.
So this question is for both of you. When you started your coach-athlete relationship, you were in Australia, Justin's in Vegas. The time change is really bizarre for both of you, right?
Yeah.
How did that relationship start? What adjustments had to be made? And then where are you today with all that?
You want to go?
You go.
All right.
Big start.
So honestly, I would be really curious to know how many times I've asked Siri, like, "Hey Siri, what time is it in Sydney, Australia?" Because like that's essentially like I need to, so when I'm trying to like contact him or when we talk, like it's essentially like we have to figure out, the time change, because I think he's 15 hours ahead of me. I think you're 15
I
hours
figured
ahead
out
of me.
the best way to do it. It was I plus 7 hours on my time right now, so whatever the time is, say 10:30 my time. So I plus 7 hours, that's 5:30. Then I go back a day.
Yeah, it's right. I know. I was just like, what? I mean,
That's how I do it.
but yeah, I mean, it was just, it's one of those things where we've done a pretty good job. I'll be honest with you. Ricky is very low maintenance. So like, I mean, there's some athletes that I coach that obviously, it's like on a daily basis, they need, and that's fine, but Ricky is an athlete who, we chat usually like once a week. We'll check in and, if he needs something, he knows that I'm here for him. But I think the fact that he's got his community, he's got his brother who is incredibly knowledgeable and who's a great coach, and, who I know, will kind of be my eyes and ears at Torian, which will be great. But, in general, like I think we do a good job, and, I don't, he would have to say it, but I don't feel like, I don't feel like we miss much. I feel like if we talk when we need to talk, and when he needs me, I try to get back to him as quickly as I can if he has questions. And I think it's worked very well thus far.
Yeah, it works well. I literally just check that Google Doc and make sure I don't miss anything on it. And that's all I know he wants from me. And that's all I can give. If I have questions for the workouts or whatever, I just shoot a message, and within 5 minutes he's replied. So yeah, it works well.
Yeah. Do you ever record anything on video and send to Justin for like review, or are you pretty much just tell me what to do and I'm going to do it?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. If there's something really good he needs to see, it's usually on Instagram.
Yeah. If there's something that I want to see, I'll request it. Or if there's something that he thinks I should see, I'll request it. I mean, I think as we, especially as we get like prepped for semis, like once workouts start coming out and he's running through workouts, or he's prepping, or we're doing like a piece of a workout, I'll want to see all those things. And then, we haven't talked about it yet, but once he makes the games, then we'll talk about when he'll come to the States and how early he'll get here and all that kind of stuff. So he'll be able to be here early and whatnot. So, and this time he'll stay in a nicer place. We're about to tell you the story about the hotel.
I'll be making that mistake again.
That he had to stay here in Vegas. Yeah, his trip to Vegas was not a good one. It was not representative of how cool it is here. He had a really rough time.
I'm scarred. I don't know if I want to come back.
You ended up with COVID and food poisoning?
Yeah, I had COVID in Vegas. Like literally a day after I got there, rocked
both
me
of
for
us.
like both of us.
Yeah.
Rocked me for a week, and then like another week after that, I was still battling to recover. Could hardly breathe, trying to train. And then in Miami, I got sick the night before the competition, was vomiting and in the toilet. Whether it was food poisoning or not, but it seemed to be that.
Yeah, it was. He had a very eventful couple of weeks in the States. So yeah, it was. We'll make sure next time he comes here that he has a much better time. So.
Yeah, I had a blast in Vegas.
Got that immunity now.
Yeah, both of us, man. We both got it bad coming back from Dubai. We both got COVID pretty badly, probably on the plane on the way back, and it was, oh man, I was laid up for a couple of days. We both were laid up for a couple of days.
Yeah, if you remember,
he lost a bunch of
Justin,
weight.
I had it at the exact same time. You and I were texting.
Well,
it was awful.
Yeah, I ruined Christmas. I don't know that Ash is ever going to forgive me for that. So I don't know that I'm ever going to live
Yeah.
that one down.
So since you brought up
You had the
Dubai,
big,
oh, go ahead, Ricky.
you had the big roast you had all planned up in the fridge and everything. Everyone was going to come over.
Yeah. We had like the whole crew was supposed to come over. And of course I got COVID and Justin ruined Christmas. That's basically the story. So
yeah, I think I told you I smoked a 15-pound brisket.
Ooh.
And then got COVID, so nobody could eat it.
Oh, now there you go. Yeah, and then it's crazy because like your taste buds are all jacked up for a while. Like I don't know. It took me a while to feel right. Like it was crazy because I drink a lot of coffee and I couldn't drink coffee for like a month, 2 months after. It tasted like dirt. I didn't want any part of it.
Been going nuts.
This guy doesn't drink coffee. That's what's crazy. No coffee.
Yeah, I gotta have my 3 cups in the morning, man.
Yeah, definitely.
So you brought up Dubai. I want to talk about that real quick. So Dubai was your first time back on the competition floor. I think you won the first 2 events, correct?
Yeah.
How hard was it not to go out like a balls on fire in your first competition back, or did you pay for it later in the week?
Yeah, I pretty much did, but it was great. 2 great workouts for me, so I had no reason not to go balls out on those workouts. So, but I pulled up fine after those 2 workouts. Like running's like my jam, so I had to make the most of the opportunity while it was in front of me. But it was more so just the nerves. Like I've never been so nervous in my life for anything. Just been so long and hard to deal with. But once you're in the workout, it goes away. But the next workout comes around, and the same nerves come knocking on the door again.
It was cool because I was watching. It was an interesting setting, being in that like the fake ski slope thing, where they had to run, and so the coaches weren't supposed to come to the event. They were supposed to stay back at the hotel, but Michelle, Ricky's partner, and I were just like, screw that, we're going. So we went, and then we actually snuck in to where you could watch, and we kind of hid up like on the balcony watching him, trying not to scream, and we're watching it. Yeah, I know. I screamed at the end. I couldn't help myself. But it was cool because obviously he's in a heat with Roman, and he's in a heat with Lazar, who are obviously. I mean, Lazar was top 10 at the games last year, and Roman, who everyone I think around the world would say is a top 10 CrossFit athlete, even though he hasn't been able to compete at the games. And Roman generally just dusts people on those type of events. Ricky it was a 5-round event. Ricky was, I think it was right behind Roman. Lazar was right behind Ricky. And it was that way for about 3 rounds. And then in round 4, Ricky passed him. But I when I saw that, and I saw Ricky pass him, and I was like, okay, he's going to win this event. But then after the event, and I asked Ricky, I was like, when did you know that you had him? And I think you said you knew right on the first run.
Yeah, I kind of knew after the first run, like, oh, that's the pace they're going to hold. I can pick it up a bit. But even if I hold this pace, surely they're not going to be able to maintain that.
Yeah. And so after he told me that, it was just like, okay, like I said, because listen, it's hard to know, right? Like I've never watched him in person, and he hasn't competed in that many years. And, obviously, you say to yourself, okay, I think that he's got the goods, and then you watch it in person and you're like, okay. I mean, so everything that I was thinking was now validated. And I remember Tommy Marquez just kind of looked over at me, and he shook his head, and I was like, yeah, he's back. I was like, he's for real. And then obviously, had a great week and was right there all week and was able to podium. And, I think it set the stage for a great season. And obviously, we want to be even better than that in the future. And there were things I think off of that weekend that the two of us, looked at and said, hey, we can get better at this and we can do a better job of pacing here. We can do a better job of doing this here. He missed a jerk. If he would have hit that, he finished second in the competition. So there were little things, little mistakes, little things that we know we can get better at. And I also will always contend that it wouldn't have mattered who would have competed that weekend. If you give Roman a competition that's got that many machines in it, Roman's winning the competition.
I think so.
Yeah,
There's an animal on those machines.
Oh my gosh, unbelievable!
And even though it was a podium, it still had to be validating that after 4 years off, you still had it. At least to give you that confidence. Okay, I'm back. I still have it. I still can compete. Now let's go.
Yeah, for sure. It was kind of expected of myself, but at the same time relieving that that's where I ended up after the weekend. Obviously, higher up the podium would be better, but training for now. So it was hard, just like the competition experience, like that's what I felt like I lacked that week. It was just the warm-up area, the nerves, the eating, the sleeping at night, feeling those extra nerves. Like it's been 4+ years since I'd experienced any of that. So just like good experience to get that under my belt, but it was more like a kick in the face of like you gotta, it's all part of the job. Very different to just working out in your own gym with your own people, your own comfortable environment. That's what I thrive on. Well, it was a good reminder of those things and getting that experience.
Yeah. You have to get that competition experience to know when to push, when to hold back, when to pace, all that kind of stuff. So you get that under your belt. I want to ask you, you grew up playing like every sport under the sun.
Yeah.
And so you did every possible thing you could think of. How much did that prepare you for CrossFit? And then you played rugby at a very, very high level. Did that help your mindset moving into CrossFit?
Yeah, for sure. So pretty much throughout my whole schooling life, from primary school to high school, I'd put my hand up for any sporting event because it would get me out of class and I wouldn't have to do academic side of it. So, yeah, I was playing cricket in primary school, I was football, touch, volleyball. I might have even played netball, just anything. But yeah, it definitely helped shape who I am today athletically, and took more of a professional approach towards rugby at the age of 18. And that was always kind of like my main sport growing up. It was the one I enjoyed the most. The other sports were kind of just hobbies on the side that I just enjoyed doing. But yeah, rugby is a great sport. It teaches you a lot about camaraderie and discipline and resilience. It's a tough game. It beats you to your knees. It's 80 minutes smashing each other and going balls to the wall. It's pretty fun. It definitely shapes your character and makes you more of a tougher human. So I think that transferred into CrossFit a lot with my workouts and kind of just embracing that grind. And rugby, if you had a 110 kilo guy running at you and your heart rate 90%, you can't let the team down and not tackle him. So similar approach to a workout.
So I also talked to Chris Spieler a long time, probably 2 years ago, and he was talking when he wrestled, you'd be in positions where you're in pain, and when you wrestled, and that prepared him for CrossFit to be able to push through similar pain when wrestling. And I've watched rugby. There are no soft rugby players. You have to be mentally tough. And the physical beating that you take during a game, Does something similar happen with that, where you experience pain in that game and have to push through it, and that helped you further in your CrossFit career?
Definitely. It's just like pain's kind of, I feel the same in every aspect. It's just how you deal with it mentally inside your head. I've always treated pain as another person. Who's going to win, me or the pain? So I treat it as a competition, and that's, I'm a competitive guy, so that's the best way I deal with it, and it works for me.
Yeah, everybody I've talked to about you says that you have this switch that when things get tough, you get better. Where other people crumble, you're able to push through. Do you see that in yourself?
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I see it. I definitely feel it when it happens. Like excruciating pain, but it's just like, don't be a bitch. Like, you can do it. Pick it back up.
I feel like
that's.
I feel like that's a gift, you know, and I feel like you see that with the best, you know, CrossFitters in the world, you know, that they have the capability to be able to go to that place and thrive in that place, right? And I think that separates the best, you know, from just that not quite at that level. You know, to me, you can't get to that level unless you have that in you. And we've seen, you know, we've seen some champions in the past who have been able to go to that place and do things. And you know, I think of like a Sam Briggs, who maybe she wasn't the strongest, or you know, wasn't necessarily the best mover, but she was able to endure the most pain. And that week she was able, you know, she won the CrossFit Games. And you know, I think Ricky has the ability to be able to go to that place, you know, and do things that and survive and embrace it when it really hurts. And that's a gift for sure.
I think what it is, it's just addictive. So like when you go there, maybe it's not so enjoyable at the time. I won't agree to that, but when you come out of it, on the other side, it's like, fuck, that was cool. I beat it. Like I embraced it, and I won. Just like that feeling after it. Like, fuck yeah, and you get those endorphins, and somehow you just want to go there every day.
I know you may want to. That's probably a gift I don't have. but what I'll say, and this is the only thing I'm going to say about 2017, I was actually a volunteer at the games in 2017, and I worked the outdoor park, North Park. That Madison triplet, watching you push through that insanity with the cheese curds and the straw bales and the running, my God, like you never slowed down.
Yeah, that was a good workout. It was fun one. It was anything with running in it, I have to take advantage, capitalize on the opportunity. Burpees not so much, but I don't think anyone likes burpees. You just got to suck it up. And
I feel like
great time in that workout.
I feel like his response to that is similar to when Carrie did Atalanta, and at the end, you know, everyone, she's dying, laying on the floor, and she just looks up and she's like, "Oh, that was a fun workout." It's like, what? What are you thinking? Like, come on, there's a little bit of insanity there, but it's good. You have to have it, you know. You gotta have it. You gotta embrace it. So it's cool.
Well, it's fun when you win as well.
That's true. Winning is fun.
Well, and the best thing about that as a competitor and someone who is so competitive is that when it doesn't affect you like that, and you're just walking around and everybody else is laying on the ground, like that imposes your will on your competitors. Because they're like, what the hell just happened to us? And he's walking around like nothing happened.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's the opposite though. I'm the one on the floor, and they're walking around.
Oh, that chipper in Dubai. I remember you coming off the floor. That was a
Oh
doozy.
man, that's one of the hardest workouts I've done, I reckon. Whether it's just me that says that or the others agree to it, I'm not sure.
I think everybody said that. Those was it 60 sandbag cleans? Yeah, that beat people up pretty good. People coming off the floor are like, oh my God, that was brutal. Yeah. Sarah said the same thing. I remember she came off. She was like, that's as hard a workout as I've ever done.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a good one.
That's what Dubai's known for.
Nasty.
Yeah.
So now you get to start back to a new CrossFit season. We're 2 legs in. Open went pretty well for you. You win the quarterfinal down in Oceania. So you're going into Torian as the number 1 seed. Has everything gone to plan so far this season, or are you still working out some kinks coming back?
I'd say it's all gone to plan so far. Like, in the end, you just got to be at the semi-finals. Obviously, it's good to be on top coming into it, and the Open went pretty well. I was happy with the quarterfinals. I copped some penalties, which was fair enough. It's a good kick in the ass, I suppose, to just really fine-tune those movement patterns and be a bit more conscious of the reps and making sure that I'm locking out my hips or just those finer details. So that was a good reminder just to focus on that. And I've been doing that in my training since quarterfinals, just been really diligent on my reps and getting someone to watch me while I'm working out and no repping myself or someone no repping me, and I can really get used to that. Can be prepared as best I can for semi-finals.
I think I don't know if a lot of people know this, but Ricky, I think did you get 3 penalties during?
Yeah, even 4. They took 3 pounds off the total.
Oh, okay. So, well, that was
but
yeah,
that's fair enough.
But I mean, he's still won Oceania with a major penalty on the muscle up workout. Because the pistols, really though, the penalties you got were pretty much, it was all hip extension, right? You're just trying to go too fast on the pistols. And we saw the same with Noah. We saw the same with, several people that got that. I think Travis Mayer, Big Matt got one. But, I think it's a good reminder. And like Ricky said, it's a good reminder. But I also think it's a little bit scary for people when they look and say he got a major penalty and he still won the continent. You know what I mean? So that's the way I look at it, is just in a live competition, you get 1 no rep and you're going to fix it. You know what I mean? Like it's not going to be something that ends up being a major penalty. It's going to be, 1 no rep, and then it's like, okay, extend your hips, and now you're extending your hips on every one. That's not going to be an issue. And obviously on the worldwide leaderboard, I think he was still top 10, and then you take away that major penalty, and his scores are, he was definitely top 5. So, he's kind of right in line to where we expect to be, and I also think that he's better in live competition when the workouts are a little bit harder, and then you get to have. Now he did get some running, which was good, but you get to have more running, obviously.
Nice. Yeah. Maybe not nice, but nice for me than other people.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you're the first person to say they're nice that I've talked to. So one thing that I've always said, and when you came back, I said this a lot, that we are a forgiving society in this world, right? And you are back and you're already getting like major sponsorships. Like you've had 1 live competition, the Open, and you have Tier as a major sponsor to your game season now. How good does that make you feel that people have forgiven, and especially major sponsors, and are supporting you, the athlete, now?
Yeah, it's massive. super relieving in a way. Like, I was planning on coming back without sponsorships and gonna have to work daytime job, train in the afternoons, and what I was preparing my first season to be like. And when Thea came around and reached out, it was privileged. I spoke to Corey and had a good chat on Zoom and on FaceTime, and just got to know him, and he kind of told me what he was thinking, and he wants to have me on board and believes in me and visions I have, and forgives me for the past. And yeah, to have a brand like that come at me, it was a super massive surprise to me, but yeah, I'm just grateful in the end. And yeah, obviously not everyone's gonna forgive me for what I did, and fair enough, but it's more so about, for me, how I turn it around, and could have easily thrown in the towel and given up. So shows a lot of courage, I feel, and that type of person I am, and I think it's good that some people are seeing that in me.
Yeah, I think the news cycle has already gone. You know, in my world, we talk about things like this all the time, and your story is a back page story now, right? It's just about you, the athlete, and I'm so happy for you that that's what's happening. So we talked about Michelle briefly. When did you meet Michelle?
We met at the gym, actually, at my brother's gym. She came there for a fundamentals, like an intro class, and I was actually coaching. That's when we first met.
Was that during your suspension or before?
During suspension, yeah.
So how much did that relationship help you get through those 4 years?
Well, we only got together at the start of 2021. Yeah, she's been a huge part of these last 12 and a bit months. She's super supportive, and yeah, she's a great girl, and she's knows the path I've been on and knows where I want to go, and she's doing everything she can to support that, and she's helped me a ton in the last few months. She came to Dubai with me, and we travelled to America, and really good at feeding me and making sure
That's what I was about to
getting
say.
the calories in, and
Yeah, he's not great at eating, and
that.
she's the food Nazi, man. She's just
yeah,
she cracks
food
that
Nazi.
whip. It's like, all right, here you go, eat this. Here you go, eat this, eat this. We were in Dubai, and it was just like, did he eat? She's like, she would come up to me. He hasn't eaten all day. I would be like, what's going on?
I'm nervous, man.
I know. She was great though. She's on top of it. She was very, very helpful. There's no doubt about it. So yeah, she's great.
I used to sit around 87, 86 kilos, like in the mornings. Like now I sit around 90, 91 kilos. So I thank her for that. Playing a big part. My strength and my fitness is maintaining. So.
And you feel you're a better athlete at that weight?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, I feel a lot healthier. Joints feeling good. Strength feeling good. I wasn't sure about being too heavy, with like gymnastics and all the fitness side of things, but I don't notice it at all, to be honest.
And I think he can carry that too. Like he's pretty big. Like people don't realize how tall he is. So like for his height, I think right around 200 pounds is perfect. Yeah. And you know, he doesn't want to give up too much strength. So and obviously, I mean, it's working. I mean, his total was phenomenal. So, you know, it was good. And Yeah, I feel like you PR'd a bunch of lifts over the last couple of months, so it's definitely going well for sure.
Yeah.
So you got Torian coming up. I'm guessing the goal is top 3. Oh, top 1.
That's the goal.
Well, it's top 1.
And then the games. So what is the plan? What is the expectation moving forward for the rest of the season?
Yeah, so in week 2 of semi-finals prep, going really good. The workouts have ramped up and the volume's ramped up, which has been good. Trying to kill us, but hanging in there.
I told him about that thruster workout yesterday.
Oh,
The heavy.
yeah, with the dumbbells.
Yeah.
How did everyone else go with that?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, I told him though, it's like there were some tough moments for people. I mean, Danielle, she smashed it. She went like 14.5, 14:40 around there.
Oh, I know.
That's pretty good. Yeah. I mean, I figured you probably
That'd have been a good race.
close. Yeah. Oh, you were right there. I figured. Yeah, I figured as much.
Yeah.
But it was a good workout. It was a hard one. It definitely ramped up for sure.
You want to know what it is, you got to sign up for Underdogs.
That's right. We just let you know it was heavy dumbbell thrusters, 70s for guys and 50s for women. So that was part of it. So it was pretty nasty. It was a bunch of other things too.
I love that Ricky's learning the marketing tricks.
It's great. It's phenomenal. Yeah, I'll let Ricky finish, but I know for me, focusing on Torian, like really taking one step at a time, So for us, like really focusing on maximizing, his performance at Torian, prepping him, making sure his body's ready, making sure that, he's feeling good and able to perform at an optimum level. I think he'll probably be fitter even than he was in Dubai. And I think getting that experience, getting that under his belt, will be invaluable. And I think he'll obviously perform well. And then obviously if all goes to plan, then he and I will kind of talk after that about the games and everything else. But if you want to know the truth, he and I haven't, we're not taking Torian for granted. We haven't talked about the games. It's not like we've said, oh, after that, then we're going to do this. No, like our focus is on going and performing to his maximum potential at Torian, 100%.
Sure. Torian's the focus, and that's all I'm thinking about and focusing on. And it's just a matter of putting the days together and just focusing one day at a time and committing to my routine throughout the day and the training program and making sure I'm healthy and injury-free. And to be honest, I'll be ready to go if it was this weekend. I'm feeling good. So got to stay where I am for the next 30-something days and fine-tune the few things and make sure my mindset and headset's in the right place. And honestly, that excited for Torian and can't wait to fuck shit up. If I can say that.
Yeah, you can't take Torian for granted because it's insane. This is my little rant that only 3 people on both sides of that field get to go to the games. That is a joke. I agree.
It is crazy to look at the talent.
Top end in Australia is really damn good, and they should have bigger representation.
Yeah, I agree. That's a whole nother show, Scott.
Yeah.
But I agree.
That's just a Justin and me talk in the lobby.
Maybe next year when we all perform well the games this year. Get our rankings up. They'll give us 5 spots.
I hope so. They need to take a look at the criteria, right? I mean, it's not just sign-ups. It shouldn't be just sign-ups. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. So, you got to look at performance, world rankings, things like that. I mean, you're going to have on both sides. I think you're going to have a guy and a girl that are top 20 in the world that aren't going to get there, you know, or that are going to have to go through the last chance qualifier.
Yep.
That, you know, I mean, that you look at just look at the women's side. You may have one that's in the top 5 that doesn't get there. Honestly, that has to go through last chance. You know, I mean, oh my gosh. But yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think most of it's crazy. Yeah, and I think most of the, you know, quote unquote, like CrossFit experts or pundits, you know, would say the same thing, that it's there should be more athletes coming out of that, you know, that continent, 100%.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how many people they have like me that sign up. It's how many people do they put in Dubai and Rogue and Wadapalooza.
Yeah, and top 20 at the games too, you know.
Yeah. So I'm just looking through my notes here real quick. I don't want to miss anything. Yeah, I think we hit everything in my notes. I just wish the best for you, Ricky, man. I'm glad that everybody has been so accepting, letting you back in. You paid your dues, and I think you deserve a second shot. And I hope we see you on the podium.
Yeah, thanks, Scott. I appreciate it.
You're getting joined by Ivy.
Man. Hey, there she is. Hey, Ivy.
Say hi. They're saying hi. She can't hear it because I got my headphones on.
Oh, yeah.
But say hi.
Yeah,
we were
CrossFit
talking
Games
about
champion 2036.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Ricky, we were
Did I see
talking.
her walking down the handstand ramp the other day.
Yeah. Did you see her pistols?
Yeah.
Yeah. I told her,
Crazy.
you see what I told her?
You need to teach me how to do them.
I told her to make sure she was standing up so she didn't get a major penalty like Ricky.
Yeah. Yeah, don't go doing that. Yeah, I seen her locking her hip.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very good.
Yeah, she's good. Cool.
Well, thank you guys for jumping on with me. This was awesome. Hopefully we'll see you in Madison. And Justin, I'll probably see you at the semis.
You'll see me at all the semis, bro. You're gonna be at Syndicate?
Syndicate, MAC,
okay.
and Granite.
So then I'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yep.
All right, perfect.
All good.
Busy schedule ahead of you, Joe.
I know. Next year we got to talk about me getting out there.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, I got to get my passport so I can go to Australia and cover Torian.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks, Ricky.
Yeah, good time. Cheers, Scott.